Good morning, good evening, and good night to everybody who is working, watching, or even eating. If you are here seeking a comprehensive comparison between the Farming Simulator 25 and the previous iterations of the other franchise, I would like to immediately apologize for being a video disappointment for you. This is my first foray into the simulator games. Okay, the farming simulator games. Despite being obsessed with the farming sim games in general, to be honest, I've always been a little bit intimidated by this huge, detailed simulator filled with realistic, repetitive farm work. I don't know what type of the tires I want to put on my tractor, so is this game for me? Of course it is. The tutorial in the career mode eased me to two things. Immediately, I felt like this game was more like power wash simulator than a cozy farming sim, with relaxation coming from driving back and forth over the fields as you sow and harvest crops. It's immensely satisfying to find the perfect line and watch piles of wheat chop build up before you harvest. Then the game starts to feel like a tractor based Grand Theft Auto as you travel back and forth between the fields, dodging traffic and trying to figure out how to make the trailer cooperate with this can you approach with the little flashing waypoints on your minimap? Well, the map shows the sheer number of the fields that are available for purchase, all surroundings our town center. If you earn enough money, you could easily, essentially, buy all the land and basically become a mayor. Soon your grandfather decides you know enough to figure it out on your own and hands over the brains of his farm to you to manage. At first, I was glad that the default career mode started on your Walters farm. It means I had some fields, vehicles, and animal pastures already purchased and in various states in the progress, rather than being overwhelmed by a blank canvas. However, I soon found out Walter's farm overwhelming in a different way. I owned so many things, and despite the tutorial, I didn't really understand well any of them. Went back to the main menu and started a new farm from the scratch instead. After I chose my first little patch of dirt, I enjoyed learning what was needed to make it function as the farm, one step at a time. Throughout the trial and error, I figured out that to buy fields, build the structures, and order animals. Soon I had the beehives and a pet dog and several chickens, although I couldn't go into the chicken pasture and pet the baby chicks, which I think is travesty. Well, baby animals, it's a new addition to the farming simulator 25. I'm glad this were included because they are adorable. Watching the chicks spin back and forth in the pasture was an endless source of joy. I expanded further and could purchase baby goats from my farm. I was even more delighted as they bounced around. Goats are also a new addition to the farming simulator 2025 as the water buffalo. Their new animals allow your farm to produce, expand to include goat's milk and buffalo mozzarella among the other bears. Animal husbandry in general is complicated but satisfying once you figure out the needs of your different animals. I refer to one of this sub-profession, but the animal husbandry aspects of the farming simulator could easily be a game of its own. Once you find a rabbit hole to dive into, it is easy to forget how many other aspects of the farming are available for you to explore in this game. For example, other than the speaking, the blunt, nonsense, lumberjack, no, I haven't tried forestry and carpentry yet at all. Well, this game is obviously huge, and everything is in this big too. The numbers of vehicles and the tools, the vehicles themselves, the fields and learning curve, but I also found it significantly easier to sink my teeth into that I expected based on what I previously learned about the franchise. There are a lot of quality of life features that make it possible to play while focusing on so much or as little details as you like it. Different farming jobs have simple and advanced controls, so you can think about farming and its mutual if you want to, but it's not compulsory. When purchasing vehicles, there are plenty of customization options, but you can also stick to all the defaults without the major penalties. My life is also improved when I learned the ways you can fast travel around the map. use AI workers to tend your crops, or even drive your many vehicles from the place to place for you. This game is all about the vehicles. When I first loaded into the character creator and saw a full body John Deere brand jumpsuit, I thought I was branding was a little silly, but soon I realized how much I cared about the manufacturers of my different in-games vehicle as I bought new additions for the garage. Well, Giant Software has discussed manufacturer licensing and how they decide which brands will be featured in the game. There are a few mechanical differences between the tractors or the harvest based on brand to avoid suggestions one brand is better than another within the game. Most vehicle categories feature a limited selection of licensed brands based on collaboration between the game needs and the manufacturer's preferences. This encourages players to experiment with the different brands because they can stick to one's favorite across all categories. Selecting vehicles reminded me of the motorsport games early on 2000 when the different car models you choose impacted the paint job more than the torque. Perhaps this is simple similarity of that makes sense, as the Farming Simulator 25 is much a vehicle simulation, farming one perhaps more so. Despite that, the giant software wanting players to love the brands equally. The Farming Simulator subreddit is filled with the people who have specific in-game brand loyalties discussing whether or not certain brands will be the latest iteration for the franchise. Despite some people losing access to their favorite vehicles, overall it seems like a lot of issues of complaints with the previous games in the franchise have been addressed by the Farming Simulator 25. Although I don't have any other farming simulator games to compare it to, I have found Farming Simulator 25 to be a very good time. This game and its nice subset manually certain would be appeal to everyone, but if you want tractors to become your no obsession, this game is for you. If you want to start a new life in industrial agriculture but can't afford to move to the country, this game is the next big thing to get your hands up on the farming life. Thank you so much. Don't forget to rate, comment, subscribe. Please check the About section. There will be links to the Steam version games and the Giant Software games. Thank you again. Peace. Bye.